Yes, this is another frame that C will feel he's let slip. He had a golden chance, the balls were all there for him, played a average positional shot, and
35.
That's where the frame turned. O'Sullivan getting in with a great red, it must be said. He hasn't played at full capacity today by any stretch, but he's restored parity nonetheless, and it's now a best of three as Jiahui missed the boat. Crowd enjoyed that positional shot. A 53 clearance from Ronnie O'Sullivan to level the match. All to play for here in Brentwood. It's 2 frames all. Every seat taken for the second half of our afternoon session on this 4th day of the English Open. By close of play, the field will be shaved to just 8 players ahead of tomorrow's quarterfinals, and this match still right in the balance. Jiahui has arguably been the better player, but he's only got 2 of the 4 frames to show. He had a clear chance in the previous one, lost prime position and then missed. O'Sullivan with a good long red got in and cleared up with 53 to level the match, even though he's been some way below his best and certainly a long way down on the impeccable performance yesterday against Jackson Page. Relatively modest high break for O'Sullivan, but it was a key one, of course. Cleared up to steal the second frame, which looked to be going Jiahui's way. It's been a fairly modest start to the season for C. He did make the winners' group of the Championship League in Leicester, lost in the last 32 of the European Masters by whitewash to Kyron Wilson. Mark Selby beat him 4-1. I guess there's extra pressure on his shoulders this season, isn't there? Because so much more is expected of him now, given what he achieved at the Crucible.
Well, that's it's not the worst safety shot you've seen, but he has pushed a red close to the pocket, which O'Sullivan will be interested in.
O'Sullivan's still not quite there with his game. He's kind of been hanging on in this match. He's done just about enough to stay with Jiahui. It's another red you would have expected him to get. Just overcut it, playing with a bit of drag. O'Sullivan's world #1 ranking is under threat this week. Luca Brissell could overtake him.
It wasn't an easy plant, was it? Because the red over the pocket wasn't exactly hanging over the pocket. He had to hit the edge of it. So it looked worse than it was. And whether O'Sullivan will take a gamble here and just plough into the bunch of reds from this red over the pocket. But there was no obvious colour if he does play that. I can understand why he didn't play with an element of control instead. Well, he's a master break builder, but the black is totally out of play at this stage. So they'll have to work around that somehow.
Yes, Brisella's got to get to at least the quarterfinals, so he's got to win tonight to have a chance of relieving O'Sullivan of his #1 ranking. But obviously if the Rocket continues to win, then that'll be made that much harder. Looking to take the lead in this match for the first time.
Nine. Ten. $15. $60. $20.
What a surprise. He was reaching over for it, but I never expected him to miss the pot as a consequence.
Just felt his arm a little there, O'Sullivan. We know at the start of this tournament he was talking about his tennis elbow that has been a factor for him for the last 18 months on and off. He's been taking painkillers, he's had a couple of cortisone injections. There was certainly no problem with it whatsoever yesterday in his victory over Jackson Page. At the moment though, you just feel as though Jiahui isn't making quite as much as he might do from the opportunities he's having. There's the cue ball.
Oh. Jiahui.
The question is, what is the damage? He's not necessarily going to cost him that much. That enough.
Another chance for seat.
Well, that has gone wrong also. He needed to get a bit more bite into the cue ball. Just was travelling across the angle of the black and not so much in behind it. It's difficult now, goodness me. Horrible shot. Well, he's done well there, and he's pushed the other red out of harm's way also. Whether the black respots is another story. If it does, it may not be available.
Eight. Nine.
Very easy cue action for little screw shots. The minimum of effort, maximum backspin. It's a great asset to have, that you can do things with ease. I think he's just got a very slight angle top side of the blue. It's a little too straight for comfort though, perhaps.
He made 4 centuries and 4 other breaks of over 90 in his semi-final with Brazil at the Crucible.
I wonder if he's got a possibility of just nudging the red out by the black here. Well, he kind of has. He might have played it differently. He could have caught the top of the red half ball. He might have actually moved the red and the black not moved very far. Now he's coming away from the reds a bit, imparting this black. It's been a bit of a struggle, this break.
25.
Meanwhile, Jiahui has moved 2-0 up on Gary Wilson, although Wilson is in the balls in the third.
You feel the pressure is building by the shot. He's getting further out of position all the time. And now the black to keep the break alive. Incredibly difficult with no obvious red after it. Very well struck. Things not getting hugely easier. He's got a shot at this red, maybe with awkward cueing. So, left-handed over a ball. What a shot. What a shot. He's quite something, isn't he, as a player? Cue ball control, though, in this break has been almost non-existent, and now something eventually had to give. Very curious.
So 14 points between them in C's favour, still possible 67 available. First blood to Lu Hongyu against the shootout champion Chris Wakelin. The winner of that will play the winner of the Mark Williams-Dylan Emery match. Williams is now 2-1 up on his fellow Welshman, helped by a break of 111 in frame 3. First time, so he goes off into the right centre pocket. This has been a curious frame, hasn't it?
It certainly has, and it's a potentially a pivotal one. It's the strangest 2-2 scoreline I've seen, really, because C, as I mentioned earlier, has been making all the running in this match. Didn't look like O'Sullivan could possibly be anything but 2-0 down, but he cleared, having not really done a thing up to that point. Not sure how this went in the end. See one or two of those stay out. But it's a frame that will still take some winning from here. Now here's a moment, I wonder if he'll try and play the cannon on the red below the black spot. And holding for the black. Well, he did, but he didn't play it as well as he could have. Might still be okay because of the red up by the pink.
That was a delicate bit of cueing, wasn't it? It was missable and it did wipe its feet, but he's landed nicely behind this red. And these are concerning moments for C.
13.
Yes, he wanted to be a bit straighter than this. Can he hold for the red, or does he have to nudge it now because of the angle on it? He can just hold. And it only just reached the black, and that's exactly how he had to play it. So 10 in front. O'Sullivan's eyes are often fixed on members of the crowd, I've noticed, in the last few shots, just looking at perhaps movement in the Brentwood centre. He'll be pleased to know that yellow and green is all he needs. That might concentrate his mind.
30.
He's been very efficient at potting the key balls today, O'Sullivan. He's not been at his best. Jiahui has made most of the running in this match, but it's going to be the Crucible semi-finalist who's got to win the last two frames. There goes frame ball.
$37.
O'Sullivan's highest break remains 64. His pot success is now up into the 90s from at one stage down in the late 70s. He's doing enough at the moment. Round 4, O'Sullivan 3-2 to the good. It's been fascinating stuff. It hasn't been always of the very highest quality today, but no less compelling. And Ronnie O'Sullivan has done enough to win 3 of the 5 frames, even though Jiahui has arguably been the better player. O'Sullivan's been that little bit better when it's mattered in the 3 frames he's won. That's why he's on the cusp, but clearly C is still very much in it.
No, I think that's a perfect description of what we've seen. You know, he hasn't always been the better player, O'Sullivan, but the key shots have gone his way. Now, 1 or 2 of the long pots he initially was knocking in have started to stay up.
That's an area of C's game that's been a bit mixed today. 1 or 2 that he's potted from distance have been quite outstanding, including the 3rd frame, which he won with a great long red, but he has missed quite a few as well. He's actually 4 from 13 from distance today. O'Sullivan now 5 from 9. And back in again.
Well, that's, again, a little short of pace. Yes, he's got the shot at the red and he'll nudge into the black and the red next to it. Played it nicely.
14.
I do feel that the O'Sullivan factor has kicked in with Jiahui, which so many young players have fallen foul of. They're a little bit in awe of him and they don't play their natural game. If Ronnie O'Sullivan had been somebody else playing like this today, he may have already won the match, see?
23.
Because the first 4 frames he could have all won them all. Bottom line is he didn't, and now O'Sullivan sees the winning line in the distance, edging closer.
30.
I think he'll look back in particular, see, on the 4th frame when the balls were sitting very nicely for him and he landed very straight on the black, tried to screw back and didn't get sufficient action on the cue ball, then missed an acute red into the centre. That was a clear chance for 3-1.
Quite a beautiful shot there, Philip. That secondary little bite on the cue ball has landed him on the reds. It's opened them up beautifully.
$39.
O'Sullivan, as he is wont to do, returning to his chair while referee Terry Camilleri makes sure the pink is in the right spot, surrounded by the reds, but this is looking ominous now for Jiahui. O'Sullivan already 45 points in front.
Well, he's got a red sticking out the bottom of the bunch. He could nudge them with the red just above and to the right of the pack as well. Didn't do so. Kept in control. It's been a mixed bag from O'Sullivan in the 3 matches. Comfortably beating Andrew Paget. Tennis elbow playing him up. He was in pain yesterday against Jackson Page. Played absolutely beautifully. Long game, short game, everything was all working, all boxes ticked, and today a bit hit or miss, but either way he's finding a way of getting it done. Might be relieved if he wins this match that he's not Elliot Slesser, who he plays tonight, because Slesser's done for him a couple of times. Not someone that fears reputation. He's beaten O'Sullivan in fairly big tournaments, but he's not playing him tonight. He lost to Zhang Anda.
68.
Well, that was the key ball. Only 67 remaining. He's missed the cannon, which will annoy him, but with the lead now 75, it's 2 snookers, just a tie for Jiahui. Oh, that settles the argument. The crowd enjoyed that one. The local favourite is delivering. But C will certainly look back on 1 or 2 moments which could have resulted in a different outcome.
What a shot that was. What a shot. This is tough as well. That's a pity.
Ronnie O'Sullivan raised his game when he needed to get the job done today, and moves into the round of 16 of the English Open. The 2017 champion of this tournament marches on in Brentwood by 4 frames to 2. So Ronnie O'Sullivan having to dig pretty deep today because